It was a great harvest. I got 5 gallons of honey off of this one hive, nothing off of the other. Hopefully you followed my hives and saw that journey. But I'll be honest, I've made a beekeeper's beginner mistake. I haven't touched these hives since I harvested. Now the temperature's starting to get cold. It's after Thanksgiving here in Georgia, and I'm going to try my best to first of all confirm that the bees are still here. I have seen a little bit of activity. I want to make sure they're still here. They should be nestling down in the bottom. If it's not too late, not too ruined, I'm going to take some of the frames off of these supers that I harvested from and store them in the freezer to help speed things up next year. And I'll put an entrance reducer at the front of each hive just to kind of reduce the possibility of any kind of critters or varmints trying to get in there and steal the honey over the winter. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. So I've moved the camera a little bit closer. I'm going to follow the same process I normally follow. Again, I don't really know what I'm going to discover in here. I can see a lot of activity or I can see none. One fear I have is that these bees could have left. We are in a drought pretty severely this time of year for our area. So it is not impossible that these bees have left searching for water. I have seen some activity, but it's not really enough to confirm that they're flying. You know, it could just be activity of other bees foraging, looking for activity, or looking for something. So far I'm seeing nothing, which means these bees may be gone. And I'm not hearing anything either. So I think we have an empty hive. Let's just see here. This is one of the supers that I harvested from. See how they look. What you can see hopefully in this honey has all been cleaned off. And but you can notice, I'll put this at the angles, hopefully you can see all of that wax that they have built up. So even though they're gone, I do not count this as a sad day because all this wax is still in great shape. Let me pull out another one just to check. And what that means is next year, I will be able to more quickly get the bees to start making honey, because the time that they would have to spend building out this wax. So here you go, here's another one. Completely built out, completely empty. That's all wax that they made. So next year, it may be a new set of bees, but I'll be able to introduce this frame and foundation to them, and they'll start building on it immediately. I'm seeing some bees, very few. I think these are just scavengers. Could be mistaken. They could all be hidden down. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I'm going to smoke it a little bit just in case I don't get surprised here. Hopefully they're just so cold and so... That'd be the absolute best situation I could find, would be that they cleaned this off for me and it's still okay. But that all the bees are here and still happy. So, get a lot more activity now. Again, this is a good sign. I'm going to try to go all the way down to the entrance reducer and get these guys ready for the winter. If you watch my story, you saw these hive beetles. Another thing I'll be researching this winter will be, is there any preemptive or proactive thing I can do to eliminate these hive beetles. Look at there, folks. Now they're getting angry, but hopefully you can see, I'll move this a little bit closer. You can see this hive is all happy, hunkered down in there. This is absolutely wonderful, the absolute best scenario I could have hoped for. Lower this down so you can see me continue to work. On the bottom of this box is a brood box. the very, very bottom. And then on the top of that is where they have stored their food for the winter. So they have plenty of food to live for the winter. And putting that on backwards. I'm really encouraged. I was so afraid that they would have left, but they've not. So now these guys are ready for the winter, and I've got almost 3 supers over there that can be jump starting for next year. We're going to pray that these guys make it through the winter, and if they do, it's likely that I could have a harvest in June and then again in August, because I can harvest and then put that frame right back on and they'll fill it back up. Absolutely wonderful. Let's check this other hive. I have heard old timers describe how it is very possible during honey flow, which is about a 2 weeks process, it is possible for a hive to fill up a shallow super in 1 week's time. That's just crazy when you think about it. But they could fill up that much in 1 week. This is the hive, if you've been following my story, that has been the most weak and concerning to me. If they did begin to pick up some strength toward the end of the season, I never harvested anything off of this, and the hive beetles are still just crazy on this hive. I'm going to remove this super. If you'll remember, they never did anything with it. Let me show you. It is on here good. This has been on there the whole season, and just a very little bit built up. I'm going to remove this super altogether. You'll remember I took the queen extruder off of this. Oh, it is on there good because it's been on for so long. It's very tight, glued on well with their propolis. But the bees are still there, so that is encouraging. And so are the hive beetles. Let me give you a closer look. Hopefully you can see down in there, you can see where they have built out a good bit of comb here. The bees are still kind of busy getting their food. Over here they're built out really far. This is all honey right here. Honey, honey, honey. I mean, it is not outside the realm of possibility, truthfully, that I could harvest that and just take it from them. But the reason I won't is there's still a chance, because they're here, that they could survive, harvest a new queen and come back strong next year. And also because they didn't have the queen extruder in this honey, there is no telling how many eggs could also be mixed in this. But it is really built out far. You can see from where my blade is how far over it's built out, a good ½ an inch. So they've done well despite their many challenges with the hive beetles. So we'll package them up and get them ready for the winter. The University of Georgia has some great resources educating us on how to take care of bees in our area. I'm going to try to research from them what are some options that I have. These hive beetles, from what I have read, they come up from out of the ground. So I've read of a pesticide that you can use, and it comes with a warning, so I'm not sure I want to do it. But I could pour into the ground, and it would prevent any eggs from the beetles that are lying there in the winter from coming alive in the summer, or the spring rather. So that's very good and encouraging.